Hello, UCAR. Peter Christensen here, coming to you from the CEO's desk. We're going to talk again about seller's disclosures in our series. Okay, today's topic. No due diligence. Buyer has waived the due diligence option, condition. That's the word I'm looking for. Condition. What do we got now? What do we have? What are we going to do? Does the seller still need to provide disclosures if the buyer really isn't going to do anything about it? Can't do anything about it. They're accepting it as is. Yes. Yes, the seller does. Why? Well, I believe there's a legal obligation to do so. There's also a contractual obligation in the REPSI. And I would argue even if you take that out, you said, well, we'll amend the REPSI. We'll take that out of Section 7. I think there's still a legal obligation to disclose everything you know. And so by the buyer saying, well, I'm not going to cancel based off of due diligence, I'm waiving my right to do any due diligence, the seller still has an obligation to disclose what they know about the property. It may feel a little fruitless because why? What can the buyer do with that information? But I don't think you're waiving that legal obligation to disclose. So I would say you still have to disclose. And I don't know a circumstance where you wouldn't. Now, let's say you don't know anything. Let's say you inherited the property from the seller, lives in Maine, never been to Utah, inherits the property from Great Aunt Betty. Didn't know Great Aunt Betty, doesn't even know how she ended up inheriting this property. But regardless, inherited the property, going to sell it from Maine, not even coming to Utah, and gets this form saying, hey, fill this out from the agent. And the seller says, well, I don't know anything. I don't want to fill out a form when I don't know anything. Well, there's still the obligation to provide a disclosure under the REPSI. And so I'd say just disclose what you know. You could say, I've never seen the property. I don't know anything about it. Never heard Aunt Betty talk about it. I don't know anything. That could be a disclosure. It's a written disclosure. I don't know anything about the property. But then at least the buyer now knows, okay, seller has never been to the property, doesn't know anything about it. I got to do all the homework I can because I'm not getting any help from the seller because they don't know anything. So I would say I don't know of a good circumstance where you don't provide disclosures. Just provide them. Utah law is so awesome in that it absolves the seller of responsibility once the seller discloses what the seller knows. This is not legal advice. This is legal information only. If you need specific legal advice, please contact your attorney. Thanks for tuning in.